everything else except that this is where we can generate revenue. Instead of going to target the poor, let's go to the people who matter the most, who make money, and collect more taxes from them. And it has, the parliament process is such that this matter he must prepare a new budget and then go to the finance committee, and then there must be public consultations, I think for 30 days, and then come back to through the committee to come and present the budget. So in all of those days, there will not be budget. So which means in the absence of the newly adopted budget, you use the previous budget. So that's where we find ourselves. The Progressive Caucus is there. I mean, even when we went to, what do you call it, to vote for budget, we had a meeting of the Progressive Caucus. We took a position with the NCC. The NCC was there. You saw that meeting we had with ANC by the toilet there in Parliament. There is a picture. They were standing next to the toilet. The ANC was asking us to abstain so that they can get the numbers, because they were not sure about the numbers. They were asking us to abstain. And they went to do that to NCC. They said they must abstain. So the NCC, having known that they participated in the Progressive Caucus and the position was taken there, they were not prepared to abstain being physically there. So they pretended like they are going outside for something and then they disappeared, which is a very unacceptable practices. I mean, we must not relate as if what is on the street. You can just, mislead people and disappear. But the people of South Africa will judge them for who they are. The ANC said the court papers have nothing to do with tax. The court spoke to tax. So the ANC is exposed. And I don't understand why would Mbalula say the ANC has always opposed VAT and the media doesn't take him head on that. Who presented the VAT? Because the VAT didn't present itself there in Parliament. It was the ANC finance minister who presented the VAT and the budget. And then the ANC, after securing that narrow victory, they celebrated. They were singing. And then they were joined by that prisoner, the ex-convict. He was singing the loudest from the front there, like a child excited. So when you come and say you didn't support VAT, and VAT gets adopted, and then you dance, you ululate, you celebrate, and the people of South Africa still trust such people as leaders of society. People who lie openly in public, lie, that we never supported. There's nothing wrong with a principle that said, well, we thought this was going to be the most effective way to collect more taxes, but after many persuasions, the ANC withdraws its proposal. Because we went to have a meeting with the ANC. They were telling us that we must support 0.5%. We refused. We said we're not going to support any VAT increase, and then we're not going to participate in anything that has got to do with the DA and the Freedom Front Plus. So it's a lie. It's a complete lie. I don't think the question about people attending churches and all of that, it's really our concern, because you're going to ask us in future, you saw so and so attending a club or shebeen or something. We have nothing to do with such things. People do what they want to do, and they don't belong to our organization, so we have nothing to do with that. Majority versus the court decision. You can't use the majority to pass irrational decisions. So every decision in South Africa, even if it's taken by the majority, it has to pass a rational test. That's why we took that decision of the majority to the court. The courts are there because the Constitution of the Republic of South Africa is the final decision. It's not politicians who take final decision. Politicians can debate, take a decision and all of that. But if it doesn't meet the constitutional requirements, the courts are going to come in. Because we don't have parliamentary supremacy in South Africa. We've got a constitutional supremacy. And therefore that the majority have taken a decision, no one else must come in. You are reducing our constitution to parliamentary supremacy. So that issue gets clarified by that the whatever majority you can have, it must meet the rational test. I mean, it's not for the first time. I mean, the majority approved Nkandla, and we took it to court. And the court said, yeah, no, this is wrong. Reversed the whole thing. So the arrogance of the ANC, and sometimes I don't think it's an arrogance of the ANC. I think sometimes it's the illiteracy of the leadership of the ANC when it comes to parliament matters. Because remember, these people used to have majority. Now, they no longer have majority. Now they get exposed. Because in the past, when you debate, they say, no, let's vote. Let's vote. So they can no longer do that. Now they have to make serious, well-informed inputs. And those inputs have to meet the rational test. And that's where they get exposed. They are going to be exposed for a very long time. You can trust us with that. We don't have any agreements with any party. We are an independent organization. We contested elections in our own right, and we got elected in our own right. So even when we are in a progressive caucus, well, it doesn't take away the independence of the EFF. The same way didn't take away the independence of the NCC. It came to a meeting, it agreed, and it eventually used its own independence to determine where they finally stand on these matters. So we were under no illusion of being in some form of agreement with any political party. We contested elections on our own, and we got 91%. They just forgot to put one on the other side. Because only a 91% party can do what we're doing. I mean, this is the work that gets to be done by people with the serious numbers and all of that. But sometimes quantity does not translate to quality, because we've got people there who are saying they are official opposition with numbers, but in terms of substance, they are extremely, extremely challenging. I mean, I saw them saying they're going to pass a motion of no confidence in Parliament on the Minister of Finance. I mean, what is that? What procedure is that one now? Because ministers are appointed by the President. They are not appointed by Parliament. We can make a call like we're doing, but the final decision rests with the President of the Republic of South Africa. Those are the types of stupid things we are not going to agree to. And you are going to say, no, the Progressive Caucus is not working together. Working together, agreeing on stupidity. We can't allow that. We are not going to be part of such things. We only agree and align ourselves on superior logic. Our going to court, we didn't join the DA. You know how the court matters work. If you come to court and there's someone already in court on the same matter, you're going to be forced to join that matter. We wrote a letter to the Speaker, midnight. They woke up in the morning to see our letter. They wrote a letter. They were arguing different points altogether. Even in court, they were arguing completely different points. This court decision, if you go and look at it, it is in the prayers, raw as it is, it's in the prayers of the EFF. You must just go and read the prayers of the EFF in the court papers and then look at this judgment. It's exactly what the EFF asked the court to do. Then you go to the DA, you look at the prayers of the DA, and you look at this agreement. You realize that the DA was there for a different reason. And someone was saying, yeah, but you are voting with the DA. I said, no, we're not voting with the DA. We're voting for EFF position. And we're doing it for different reasons. We never voted for the same position with the DA because we are sharing the same reasons. We don't share the same reasons with the DA. 27 April was a very important day in the history of South Africa in 1994. And today it becomes again an important day, a turning point in the politics of South Africa, and especially parliamentary politics. So to overturn a decision of April Fools on the 27th of April was a victory to the Constitution of the Republic of South Africa. That fools will never undermine the Constitution of the Republic of South Africa for as long as the EFF is there. The EFF has always been led by young people, and we've got full confidence in them, and that's why we entrust them with responsibilities and huge responsibilities, and they don't disappoint. They always come back with victory. Well, the SASSA is going to be there. We're using the old budget, as we said, but there won't be an increase because the increase was proposed in the current budget, which is now set aside. So which means the 20 rand he promised to increase that grant they give to the unemployed, social relief. It was giving them 350, said it's going to put 20 rand to 370. It won't happen because the budget has not been approved. We expect the people to get their money, especially the poor of the poorest. The only difference is that there will not be an increase. And all of that must be blamed on the ANC and the DA. The GNU has completely failed the people of South Africa, and the sooner we realize that, the better. We must be ashamed that we have a country without a budget. Everybody must be ashamed that there is no budget in South Africa today as we speak. And what is worse is that those people are going to pay the cost of what could have been avoided had they listened to the superior logic. The TG, when she closed her debate, she told them, we'll meet in court. And they thought we're playing. I don't know why these guys are not replaying that thing there in the EFF social media where she tells them, we'll meet in court. You replay that thing and you put that court judgment. This is what we said and this is what we came up with to demonstrate that we mean everything we said. We said to you, South Africa, we are not going to be a disruptive opposition. We are going to be a constructive opposition. We are going to hold the executive accountable, and we are doing exactly that. You can be in denial in the media because you had written us off. You said, no, the EFF is gone. The think tanks of the EFF are gone. What's going to happen to the EFF? When the think tanks of the EFF were here, have you ever seen such a superior logic being displayed? Okay, because they are tanks, why are they not tankering where they are? Why? Because they were superior, they were what? Thinking tanks. Let them go.